Welcome into the Bassmaster Studios, and today we have a special guest on one of our Bassmaster Skypes, and that is Elite Series newcomer. Can't call him a rookie. He's made too much money in his career, but a newcomer, Bryan Schmitt. Bryan, how are you today?
Doing good, guys. Thank you for having me.
Now, I see in the background there your Bassmaster Opens win from Lake Champlain, showing off a little bit of the hardware, but you have plenty of hardware over your career, and that's one reason why you're not a rookie. You've made over that $500,000 threshold in professional fishing, and that's one reason that, hey, when we saw the list of new guys, we're like, Bryan Schmitt's going to be one to watch, especially with the northern swing that we have, especially with his skill down south as well. He'll be one to watch.
You know, Ronnie, I'm going to shoot you straight, man. Ever since I saw New York on the schedule, I didn't care where it was, just New York, period. I've thought about it every day, man, every single day, and it's been a roller coaster of emotion. Hey, are we going? Are we not? You know, everybody loves going up there. I mean, it's phenomenal fishing. It's world class, but I don't know. I have a special place in my heart for New York and everything, and I'm very, very excited to get up there.
So for you, we have a couple guys in that Northeast contingent. I'll call y'all, I'll group you up in there. Destin DeMarion's one of them. He's a new guy as well. Greg DePalma, yourself. You're in that Chesapeake Bay region, though, so those tidal fisheries, the Chesapeake, the Potomac, the James River, those are right up your alley. But what about Lake Champlain and those New York lakes? They seem to just fit with you as well.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it or how to really pinpoint why I feel so comfortable on Lake Champlain. I've done good. You know, it's 110 miles long. I've done good everywhere on the lake, from very, very top of it to the very bottom of it. I've done good on smallmouth, largemouth. It's just something, when I get up there, I just feel comfortable. The weather, the air, you know, the grass, everything just, it clicks really, you know, quickly for me there. I don't want to, you know, bite my tongue here. You know, I might not catch a fish there this time, but I have a very, very comfortable feeling there, man. And I've been close there a couple times and been able to win two events up there. And it's just, I don't know, the grass, any lake that we go to or any river that has grass, I feel comfortable. And there's something about Champlain that I just click with, that the way the grass sets up. I could read it. I don't know, man. It's a special place. I'm excited to get there.
I said when I saw that you qualified for the elites, for one, I was excited because I knew how good of an angler you were. But another one, I was like, I'm going to have to keep my eye on him, because the last time I was trying to cover you on the water in an event, it was the final day at Lake Champlain, and you were so secretive of where you were going, I couldn't exactly find you. We found you for 10 minutes. We lost you, and so that's the way it went. But you won that Open, and you didn't fish all of them, though, so you didn't get to go to the Bassmaster Classic. So I know that's one thing that you're looking forward to this year through the points race of the Elite Series is to punch that ticket to Ray Roberts, which we've kind of announced during this quarantine time. So I know that you're still itching to build those points up and have a shot at that Classic berth.
Unreal, man. That's, you know, that's the #1 goal this year, is to have a consistent year and make the Classic. You know, if I have a couple great events, so be it, but I really, really want to make the Classic. The year I won the Open, like you said, I didn't fish all the events. I missed one. I couldn't get in on last second. Last year I won the Angler of the Year, and that, I believe, the year before got you in the Classic. So I'm due for the Classic, man. I hope this year works out. You know, it's going to be tough. Everybody can fish very good. It's been a crazy year, you know, and just got to keep your mind on fishing. When you show up for these events, you have to be thinking about catching these fish. And
so for you, explain yourself to some Bassmaster fans who may not know Bryan Schmitt. Shame on you if you don't know who he is, because he's been a pro fisherman for a long time now and a successful one. But for those who don't know you, explain your style. Explain what you probably feel comfortable with. Every pro wants to be as versatile as possible, but there are guys who have their niche, their deal, that when it zones into that, they really feel confident of a good finish or a chance to win. What is that for Bryan Schmitt?
You know, what's crazy about it is, every day I work on the Chesapeake Bay guiding for striped bass. And a lot of that is using your electronics and finding a couple fish offshore, or following contour lines in the middle of Chesapeake Bay. And using your electronics is how you catch them. But you switch gears to bass fishing, my comfort zone is fishing grass. And I grew up fishing the Potomac, Chesapeake Bay, any tidal water that has vegetation 2 to 5 feet. You know, a lot of times fishing what you can see, and anywhere there's grass, I'm very comfortable. Uh, I don't know how to explain it. Some people get overwhelmed in places that have a lot of grass. I just read it. You know, I guess that's what I grew up doing, and you know, I'm very, very comfortable doing it. So if there's grass on any body of water, I'm happy. Bottom line. So make sure that's on the schedule.
I'll do that. So I talked to Seth Feider in past conversations, and he mentioned when you have a home lake and it's a rock lake, like a Mille Lacs for him, those rocks don't move. They stay the same, so you can kind of know this time of year, this month, this specific week, the fish should be around these boulders, those boulders, the pea gravel, whatnot. But when it comes to grass lakes, which you excel at, grass changes every year. There are those areas where it grows consistently every time, but how thick it is or how tall it is or how far it comes out changes. So what is the best way for you to explain for somebody learning grass how to get out there and dabble with it, but to kind of wrap their mind around how fish use grass as a highway?
What has intrigued me about the Potomac and the Chesapeake Bay is it is a grass fishery, but because of the tidal system and because in the winter it dies off, a lot of it leaves, every year it grows a little bit different. It grows in a little bit different areas. It's not like I have waypoints from 10 years ago and there's not even grass there, you know. So that's what's intriguing to me. It's always changing, but what you're looking for is always the same thing. So you get into the spawning time of the year, they don't want to be in the current as much. So sometimes the inside edge of the grass, you know, or more of your bays or your protected pockets behind the grass, or grass that just doesn't have the current, sparser grass that sunlight can get into. That's your spawning time, you know. Once you get done spawning, it can be as simple as just going to the outer edge, the furthest out grass that you can find. So that area that you were catching them in the spring when they're spawning, okay, let's just go to the furthest out piece of grass that there is related to that area that might have the deepest water touching it. It could be as simple as that. Or it can also be the thickest grass in that same area. Once they get done spawning through the summer and into the early fall, they're going to use something to their advantage. That's what you got to remember. They're going to use the grass to their advantage. So you want ambush points, you want edges, you want trenches, you want areas where deeper water's hitting it. There has to be something different that makes it special to hold a good amount of fish.
There's that. Hey, I didn't expect this to turn into a little seminar, but I guess that is a great little teaching point for people learning about grass fishing. But you told me on the phone the other day, and I want if you're willing to tell the story, you told me on the phone a cool story about the final event of the 2019 BassPro.com Bassmaster Opens, the final event that you needed to do well in to qualify for the elites. You got it done, we know that, but in hindsight, looking back, walk me through Oneida Lake, a place that you've done well at and that you were excited for, but it doesn't always turn out like you think, those 2 guaranteed days of competition that you have.
So, you know, you always hear stories of guys, hey, my last cast, I caught one, you know, and it saved my day. Well, that's never really happened to me. And going into Oneida, the final open, I was doing very well in points. I just needed a solid event, I think, to make the elites. And number one goal at that time was make the elites, get the qualification in my pocket. Hey, if we do good in the event, we do good. I like Oneida. It's another northern fishery I'm very comfortable with. So I had a very good practice, had a couple things going, you know, for wind, direction, everything. You know, it was just one of those weeks that everything was making sense. So day one, I had an easy day. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Everything that I wanted to do worked out. Every fish that I thought I was going to catch, I caught. And it was just an easy day. I come back. I think I'm in 4th place after day one. Very, very confident for day two. Knew that I think I just need to catch a limit on Lake Oneida. Just catch 5 fish. I'm going to make the elites and possibly do good in the event. So day two, doesn't go too good. Somehow, I think at 1 o'clock on Lake Oneida, I had one 12, maybe 13-inch smallmouth. And, you know, you go from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows so quick in bass fishing, you start to feel you've lost your opportunity. You know, your golden opportunity here to do what you want to do and make the elites. And how could this happen on a lake this good? You know, so I just, everything's going on in my mind. I decided to make a move, you know, to the other end of the lake, and I catch 3 really nice fish very quickly. One of them was, I think, a 5-pounder, a 3-pounder, and a 3-pounder. So I have 4 fish, and I feel like that's borderline on what I need to make the elites. Well, I'm running out of time, and I wanted to go hit one more spot. And that, I didn't even tell you this, Ronnie, but as I'm leaving this area to run to another spot, a fellow contestant is flagging me down offshore, and both hit, you know, the co-angler as well. So, you know, they're in trouble. They need help. Time is ticking, man. I don't have any time. I ran over to them as quick as I could. What do you need? What can I do? Their batteries were dead. Okay, they needed a jump. I jumped them as quick as I could, got them running, and I took off up the lake. And it's rough. I mean, it's one of those very, very rough days up north, and I have no time, man. Like, I'm pushing it to get back to weighing to weigh these 4 fish with the hope of making the elites. You know, hopefully it's enough. Well, I get back right outside the off limits area, and I have 52 or 53 seconds left. I drop the trolling motor. I'm out in no man's land too, by the way. This is like, there shouldn't even be a fish where I'm at, but I have time. I'm going to make a cast. I throw a swim jig out in 12 foot of water, and I start reeling it in. I feel like it get heavy. I'm like, man, there's some grass. I start shaking it. Well, no, it's not grass. It's a fish. So now you're praying it's a bass. And about the time I saw it was a bass, I told my co-angler, I said, open that live well, open that live well. I literally boat flipped the fish into the boat, into the live well, took the hook off, pulled my trolling motor up, and I had like 7 seconds to spare to check in. And it was a 4-pound largemouth. So you're shaking at this point. You know, I go weigh it in. I think I'm in 4th again. So I made the cut, 1 angler of the year. You know, it was just a magical hour of my, of my fishing career, to be honest with you. The other fish that I caught, 2 of them should have never gotten the boat. That's a whole nother story. It's just magical, man. So, you know, I'm very tickled to be here. You know, so when things like that happen to you, you almost believe it's for a reason, you know. And it was a special day at Oneida, let me tell you.
That's an incredible story. I enjoyed listening yesterday. You volunteered that up. You said, hey, I just want you to know I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that we're trying to do the full elite schedule. Let me tell you how I even got here. And that's why I love that we have Bassmaster Live for the final day of the Opens now, because we get to see those moments play out. No one would believe John Garrett if he said, hey, I had no idea I had a limit already, and then I catch my 6th fish, and I think I have a limit, and I don't call, and I lose the tournament on that. That's what happened at the last Open we covered. You would never believe those things unless you saw it go down on live, and for that would have been incredible to have a cameraman in the boat that day to see that happen for Bryan Schmitt. But what do you expect to have with kind of a summer and a fall trail to the elites rather than just wrapping up in the middle of the summer? We're kind of kicking it back off in the middle of the summer.
You know, I think once we get past these northern events, you know, they're going to be fun. They're going to be off the hook. It's going to be great fishing. A lot of guys know what to expect. But I think once we get past these northern events, these southern early fall events, they're going to be different than a lot of guys are used to. And I think what's going to happen here, Ronnie, is it's going to make it an even playing field. With the experience level, you know, it's just a different time of year than a lot of guys are used to fishing tournaments on these places. And I think it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be figuring out what's going on then, no preconceived notions. And I like it, to be honest with you. I enjoy fishing later in the year. It's going to be different for sure.
We had a fun Lake 10 killer event to an unexpected event at the end of last year. Tough event, but really fun. The twists and turns, seeing Carl Jacobson catch him at the end of the day, or at the final day to win that event. For you, Bryan, you obviously know a lot of these pros, but who are your running mates? Who are the guys that you maybe room with on the Elites in your first year? You know, a lot of guys have maybe a clique, we can call it, but they have buddies that, hey, I hadn't seen you in forever, man, but now we're fishing the same league again, and let's room together when we can. Who are those guys for you?
My travel partner, me and Buddy Gross, we came over from FLW, qualified through the Opens last year. We're traveling, teaming up. Just me and him travel together. It's been going very well. Buddy's been kicking butt. He's told me it's time for me to carry my weight as well. So we're a good duo, man. We travel together, and I'm very good friends with Corey and Chris Johnson. Known them a long time since they were coming down to the Potomac fishing coasters. You know, Corey came to my wedding. I went to his as well, and, you know, talked to them regularly, you know, at a lot of events. And, you know, John Cruz, you know, with Missile, good friend of mine as well. So, you know, I got a few guys over here that I talk to and everything.
It made me very happy at the December Bassmaster meetings that we had in Birmingham. John Cruz got up in front of the group of Elite Series anglers, talked a little bit, and probably made you blush or made you embarrassed or something, but he said, hey, if there's a guy that is going to always work his butt off for me and for Missile Baits or me and his sponsors, it's Bryan Schmitt. He'll always answer a phone call, always answer an email. So, hey, that's very encouraging for someone like me who's going to ask a lot of you, hey, can you come and Skype with me? That's very encouraging. So, obviously a great pro joining the Elite Series. We're happy to have you, and we're excited that you get to complete the season and live out your dream on the Elite Series, and we hope that the rest of 2020 goes well for you, Bryan.
100%. I'm excited too, man.